One of the things I've been feeling is how accustomed I've gotten in my life, or the full length of my life, of just sort of accepting a state of limitation and and preparing for something in the future, and preparing for actually, and for myself personally, I've been preparing for a very dramatic breaking open of myself and others, but it's always seemed like that's down the road in the future, and now it's the reality is no, it's not down the road in the future, it's right now. Right now is the time for me to be here fully, and it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment to sort of break out of those old habits of holding back, and so I'm like conserving my energy or pacing myself or something, and protecting myself from the from just the frustration. I mean that the 60s had a lot of illusional things going on in it, but many of us paid a heavy price for the illusions of that. But there was something that was something very inspiring and magical too that was going on. It was like there was a harbinger of a future possibility, and it was very painful to then to feel that just slip away and deteriorate and collapse. Well, the possibility that I felt was it was just a way of being with each other. I mean, really, I mean there were a lot of aspects and forms of it in terms of different ways of construct. A lot of us were into Buckminster Fuller. There was a lot of excitement around the different ways of living and creating our own physical structure, our housing and automobiles, and that didn't rely on a obsolete, hydrocarbon kind of technology and so forth. But the real thing was just this sense of openness and intimacy among us and among my friends and I, and just taking new risks that I'd never taken before. The whole opening of the human potential movement, there was a camaraderie, there was an openness and a connection with others, where we just felt like we were in a movement. And it was beyond just rebelling against the things that seemed obviously stupid to us, but there was a hope and a potential and a trust that in each other. And over time, I just felt that trust be sort of leach away, and just going back and sort of pulling back and sort of living behind a set of walls, and other people living behind a set of walls, and it was like, oh, just this was a fantasy, or this was sort of a trick, or something, and a tease. It felt like we'd been teased in a certain way. The reality is now, it was like we were given a peek. I was given a peek of something that was very meaningful and powerful, and then it was like, you want this? You got to really want it, and you got to be willing to, sacrifice all the other stuff that's keeping you from having this and being this, and so that's been the long, hard road, is then letting go of the conditioning of, how do I protect myself? How do I protect my own heart and don't keep getting hurt and so forth, and which is completely counter to to the inspiration or the reality of that glimpse I had in the 60s, which was open the heart and keep the whole heart open, regardless of being hurt or not. Just take, embrace the hurt and bring it in, and let that be a fuel for something new, and for the next stage and the next step of the evolution, and to believe in love. So that's what I experience now in myself and see around me in other people, that those doubts and that disbelief is just evaporating. I mean, it's unsustainable. It really is unsustainable. That the difference between having a life based upon loving and a life based upon safety and security and protection, I mean, it's a choiceless choice, and I think that's just becoming more and more evident to more and more people. But for myself and for what I see collectively, we're not going back. I mean, we're passing through thresholds that we're not going to try to figure out how to get back to some constricted, linear way of being. I just don't believe that at all. And partly because I believe that there is a trust. What I feel now in myself and in my core relationships, that there is a trust and a recognition that we have to do this together. And that if we go back, if we try to do it just on our own, or just, not reach out for support, not ask for, to be helped through the toughest parts, then there's no way any of us are really going to get to where, or very few of us are going to get to where we really want to go.